Hello, this is Sonia from A Happy Space. Welcome back at my channel. I thought it'd be fun today to have a flip through my Israel tour traveler's notebook. In 2018, my sister and myself went to a trip to Israel. My mum died about she died about 2 or 3 years ago of cancer, and we just thought it would be a lovely memory to go and celebrate her life. She loved traveling, and one of her destinations she always wanted to go to was Israel. So yeah, so we went. The two of us went on a tour group. It's called the Joy Tour Group. It's a sort of a Christian magazine here in South Africa. So we went with them. I'll just highly recommend them. So yeah, we had a lovely time. So I've made a traveler's notebook of it. It's a very busy traveler's notebook. I wanted to make it pretty, but I didn't bother too much about exactly how it looks and things like that. To me, it was more important to get it done and to tell the story of it and put the photos down. So what I've done is I've used the Kaiser Craft kit, and it's called Let's Go. So I mostly use that, and I've obviously used some of my own things also. So there was a sticker sheet, so I just put these stickers around it, put the letters. This is my own letters. I think that's part of it. So yeah, this Israel 2018, and it says always keep room in your life for adventure. Yeah, that's what it is. I just did a cover, just with said what it is. There's not really much to explain about it. I just thought I stick to blues and things like that. It reminded me very much of the Israel flag. So the colors just suited to me for the Israel trip. So what I've done is I've just done an introduction page about my mum and a flag, and just myself on the airport, my husband and my son. My daughter took the photo, and I just made a memory. It said, some says you will never know the true value of a moment until it becomes a memory. So yeah, I just made a tribute towards her, and yeah, just to say, yeah, we're doing it to remember her and celebrate her life. So yeah, that was also just, I did the page about the tour group. I put even how much it cost for everybody to see there, for myself to remind the itinerary, sort of what's happening, what's included. This little passport thingy was from a sticker sheet I bought locally, and I actually cut out one of the photos from the brochure just to show yeah, a nice photo of Jerusalem. Yeah, and just I did that. Then I did it sort of almost day by day. I put there at the top the day, the travel brochure, sort of itinerary, what we're going to do. Remember it, my sister, myself, and the airplane, time and date and everything when we got to the airport. So very simple, some stamping. Then I do day two. We went to Mount Carmel, and we went to Caesarea there, and we went to, it's a beautiful sea town resort. And I just wrote down in my own words also what we did. I did the brochure description, and I also did in our own words what we did. At the end, I realized one day we actually swapped over. The one day we didn't do actually what in the brochure said, we swapped it over to the other day. So that was a bit difficult for me to, I had to get my head around there just to keep up with what date we did everything, because I did it exactly a year after we went. It was just very nostalgic to me. A year after we went, I thought, no, I actually want to get this traveler's notebook done and keep the memory. This is Mount Carmel, and yeah, so it's just a beautiful view over the valley there. It's called the Armageddon Valley, so it's beautiful there, and that's Elijah. Obviously, it's not him, but it's just a statue of him. The next day we went to Nazareth village. There's a little village at Nazareth, which they made into sort of a biblical village, which they think how it might have looked during Jesus' time. So that is just sort of photos of it. I just made sort of small little photos to make a snapshot of the village. And inside the village, there was a church which you can renew your vows if you were there with your husband, or you can just do it without him, just commit your marriage again to the Lord. So that's a photo of that. It's my own writing. That's the evening in Tiberias. Tiberias is a seaside town there in the northern part of Jerusalem, and I really enjoyed that. So my sister and myself, we walked around, and it was just a lovely, lovely evening. The next day, we went on the boat ride on the Sea of Galilee. I love these photos of the two of us. It was a beautiful, we had communion on the boat, and then we went to, where is that now? Let me see. Capernaum. This is Capernaum, the ruins left out of Capernaum. So that's in there. And that is sort of a leftover of an old synagogue. It's not during Jesus' time, but I think it's like 100 years after Jesus' time, how a synagogue would have looked. This is just a little tag. I don't know why I didn't do any memory keeping on there. I could have saved myself some space, but I was very new to Traveler's Notebooks, how to do memory keeping, so I didn't really know about all the tricks and trades you can use. This is the Mount of Beatitudes. We went up there, and this is actually there where Jesus, I think, multiplied Takba. Yeah, Tapka, where traditional site where he multiplied the loaves and fishes. So that's there. This is our first night or second night in Tiberias. Nice food we had, beautiful hotel. Sitting outside and just had a cocktail, just a glass of wine there on the veranda looking. This is our view. This was genuinely our view over the Tiberias River, so it's beautiful. And the evening before that, we went out for coffee, just documented that. So that was nice. Then you get always opportunity to baptize yourself. I've been baptized, but I just thought it'd be lovely to be baptized in the Jordan River. So that is the beautiful, flattering white coat you need to put on, and that's as we stand in sort of waiting to be baptized. It was just a wonderful experience. I would really recommend anybody to, obviously if you haven't been baptized, to do it there, or just to recommit your life to the Lord. This is at the Qumran Caves, where they discovered the Dead Sea Scrolls. That is one of the caves they discovered it. This is a replica. Unfortunately, I think the original one's it's not there, but there's a replica, and that's a sort of a replica of how it looked. I don't know if you can really see it. Some of the photos is very dark, so that's a replica of how it looked when they discovered it. This is just a little tip in because I realized I actually didn't do my own writing for day 5. In hindsight, I sort of maybe made a pocket with a little tag there, but as I said, I've done everything already, stuck everything down, so I didn't do it. So actually that was at the Mount of Beatitudes. We went on a camel ride, or you could do if you want. This is it's actually the Mount of Temptation. Sorry, the Mount of Temptation. So that was there. This is in the Dead Sea, which was lovely. We went to a beautiful hotel, very fancy hotel. That was the view. I think that was one of the hotels, and that's us floating on the Dead Sea. It's a fantastic experience, and I love this photo. My sister and myself woke up the one morning very early. We actually were just one day there. The next morning we woke up quite early for the sunrise, and we went and we had the Dead Sea to ourselves, or that part of the Dead Sea to ourselves. We were the only people there, and we had a lovely experience, just having a classic picture of lying with a book or a magazine, floating with the beautiful sun coming up. So I've just got documenting that. This is Mount Masada, which this group of Jewish people sort of escaped when they were persecuted by, I can't actually even remember if it was the Romans, or I should really read up on that again. But bottom line is they went up to that village, they lived there, and they were surrounded by the enemy, and rather than giving over, they committed all suicide. So the enemy couldn't take hold of them and keep them as slaves. So that was on top of there, or you could go up with the cable car. This second book is about Jerusalem, and I couldn't obviously fill in there, and I've just made a cover again with Jerusalem on there. And yeah, that is our first day in Jerusalem. We went to Bethlehem, actually, which is just outside Jerusalem, and that is the fields of Bethlehem, where maybe Jesus, the star, could have been shine, and obviously where Jesus was born. That is just a picture of us, and this is sort of, it's just, I can't remember actually even where that is. There's lots of places where the Roman Catholic Church took it over and they built big churches on top of it. So you actually lost track later where it is. But what was nice about this tour, we sort of tried to do the more authentic bit, sort of where other people might believe it might have been. So that was quite nice. Now this bit is the Garden of Gethsemane. Some of these olive trees is about 2,000 years old. Jesus could have touched that olive tree. So that was quite poignant. We had a lovely service there. My sister, myself, in the garden, Garden of Gethsemane, and that is just, I love this little photo of Jerusalem just poking out there with the little heart. I just wanted to get that in there. So that was a lovely day. And yeah, this is just a typical day in Jerusalem. We went to visit the Western Hall, where people put their little prayers in there. This is just everything there, all the authentic Orthodox Jewish people, a place where all the Bibles, probably not the Torah is, And yeah, it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. Jerusalem and Israel is absolutely amazing. I would recommend it to anybody to go. This is the Via Dolorosa. The Via Dolorosa is not really where the Via Dolorosa is. It's just, I think it's also part of the Roman Catholic tradition from one place to another, but it's just good to walk it. We didn't really emphasize much on it, the tour group, because we know it's not really the place. But it was just nice to see it and obviously take photos of it. Yes, very interesting. We went underneath Jerusalem, and these streets where I stand, I don't know if you can see these some feet on there. This street is more than 2,000 years old, so Jesus could have walked there. So that to me was amazing. And then these blocks was part of the original part of Jerusalem. So this is all part of the original Jerusalem where Jesus could have been. This is the pool of Bethesda where Jesus healed the man. So that's part of it. It's obviously, it's because the authentic Jerusalem is underneath. So everything, if you want to see authentic Jerusalem, really where Jesus was, it's all, the new Jerusalem is built on top. So you obviously have your elements of the true Jerusalem like down here, and obviously this is a pool of Bethesda, which is actually deep down there. And yeah, I didn't document anything on there. I could have documented something on there, but I just thought it was cute, the little tag. Day 8. And this is also part of day 8. My sister and myself just took ourselves off and we went through the Arab and the Jewish quarter. It's very interesting with all these shops. I mean, you can shop till you drop, basically. So it's very, and it's, you can't really get lost. You get lost, but you will eventually get where you're supposed to be. So yeah, that's why I put the explore there, because we were the only 2 people who were brave enough just to go by ourselves and do things. This is all part of the old city, and this is not the original wall, but that is part of it. This gate is locked up or closed off because the Muslim tradition is that Jesus is going to come through that. I think it's the eastern gate. Through that gate when I return, and they think if they block it up, you will not return. But unfortunately, we know that will not be the case. And this is just the beautiful spice markets, the food and things is very interesting in the old city, in the Jewish, or not the Arab quarter, so it's very interesting there. So it's all the lovely food you can get. This is the last evening we went to watch this amazing light show. You can see a little bit of it there. You were not really allowed to take photos. I took that photo before I knew you're not allowed to take a photo. And we had a nice, it's called this, where is it? Ben Yehuda Street. It's sort of one of the main streets there in Jerusalem, outside the old city. We went for coffee and we had this nice, lovely light show the last evening of our trip. The last day we went to the house of Caiaphas, where Peter denied Jesus, and we was left for his last time for a trial. This dungeon or jail was discovered there, very close to, in that area, close to the upper room, I think. And this is a real authentic jail during Jesus' time. So this could have been very much, the place where Jesus could have been kept, or exactly the same place. So it was, that hole was being made in there for us to see, but that would have not been there. Or you would have been taken down with a rope down there and it would have been closed off. So one of the Psalms, I don't know if I've written it down here. I can't remember. One of the Psalms is almost a prophecy of what Jesus prayed or how he felt while he was deserted and we left alone just before he was taken to trial, before his crucifixion. This is obviously the garden tomb, which many people believe that is where Jesus was buried. That was an absolutely amazing experience. This is Golgotha. If you look very closely, you will see the eyes of the skull. Unfortunately, there's a bus terminal now built there. So the mouth is now covered by this and the buses. So that's very sad. But there is some photos without the bus terminal. You can look at it at the place, so it shows you. This is my sister and myself. We really struggled to get just a photo of the 2 of us. It is so busy in Israel. I cannot tell you the amount of tourists there is. I went actually about 15 years ago. And the difference between 15 years ago and 2 years ago is just amazing. I didn't really actually notice other tourists when we went to any other place 15 years ago. Now you're like a sausage machine from the one place to the other. You just have to queue. If you don't book your time slot there at that garden tomb, tomb. You won't be able to get. I don't even know if you can be going by yourself. You might be, but you have to book slot for everything. So it's very, very busy. I'm sure there's less busy times. We were supposed to have gone a less busy time, but I just think it's always busy in Israel. So if you have a opportunity, go. And obviously this is just a cluster photo. I love this little tag which I said he is risen indeed. And I bought myself this little wooden stack with the crosses and the tomb, and yeah, it was just a nice Easter memory. Yeah, this is just part of the last day. We went to this museum which they have a layout of how Jerusalem would have looked during Jesus' time. So it's a little city, model city, so that was quite interesting. Yeah, and that is just the overview. I love this golden accents I've put here, and obviously playing on the Dome of the Rock. So I'm playing on that, and yeah, it was just it's a beautiful view over Jerusalem. It's such a wonderful, magical experience being in Jerusalem. And yeah, this is our tour group. It's our traditional photo you take with the tour group with the Dome of Rock at the back. That's just sort of a photo of my tag for my tour. This is our travel guide, Jackie, and the bus driver. And here was a tour guide there in Jerusalem. Yeah, and that is just my final photo of myself, my sister, looking over Jerusalem, or at the back of Jerusalem, the view. And it is the last view that was from the Mount of Olives. You see that beautiful, beautiful view. That's one of the authentic places also really existed in Jesus' time, the Mount of Olives and the Garden Tomb. And yeah, this is just a cluster of more photos of Jerusalem, the things that didn't make it into the display. I just didn't want to miss something. And that's just the last photo of Jerusalem. And then I love this passage in the Bible. It says, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, those sent to you, how often I've longed to gather your children together as a hen gathered her chicks on his wings. And you were not willing. And that is Jesus' last prayer or cry for Jerusalem. And yeah, we just pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And we know that means that Jesus will come back and that he will set up the peace. So that is my travels notebook of Israel, or Jerusalem and Israel. I hope you enjoyed it. I really recommend anybody to make a sort of a note of your travels. And yeah, because I really enjoy doing it. I was reliving my whole travels while I was doing that. And yeah, I'm just glad I did it. It's now documented. I can remember it, and I've got my photos done. Yeah, I hope to see you soon. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.